Welcome to Rauta. Welcome to my home city. And this time we have some American guests. And this time, as you can see, it's not a big band with 6 members or so. It's exactly these 2 guys. And we're gonna pick them brains. I don't know why I'm having this weird, way to talk about myself in a, whatever.
Bro.
All right. Let's get these guys introduced. Sir, please state your name and what was exactly the band name?
I'm Zell, and the band is Antichrist Siege Machine.
And do whatever it's you, sir.
I'm Scott, and it's the Antichrist Siege Machine.
And your role is?
I'm a drummer and, I guess, primary vocalist.
So you would be secondary vocalist and guitars?
Yeah.
But where's the bass?
Thankfully, there's no bass, because that means that we don't have to deal with the bass player.
Yeah, that guy always sucks.
We'll let the record begin with fuck bass.
Yeah, we don't like bass players or guitar players,
Fuck
really.
bass.
So fuck them both. It makes it a lot easier. The bass player is just it's a cord that I plug in to a pedal, and then it splits it off and goes to a bass rig, and I just play everything through that.
Yeah, we still do have a bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously on albums.
It exists, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just the 2 of us.
But why did you choose to go with just, okay, we're going to do just 2 of us instead of, okay, let's have some live members to fill the empty slots or whatever?
It was one of those things where the band started as just the 2 of us, and originally we just there wasn't anyone in our circle in Richmond that we felt would add anything to the band, and then we just kind of started writing and keeping going, and then we just realized that we didn't need to have a bass player for this band. And the band also wasn't really meant to be a live band either, so we felt that we have the best sound between the 2 of us, and we've never felt like we needed to add anyone else to it.
I'm wondering because there are lots of bands, perfect bands, mind you, who are indeed working as a duo. But when it comes to live, sitting there, okay, we need Jack for this secondary guitar, or we need this keyboard player, or even the vocals. But you handle it all. Before we get into you, I'm asking you because you mentioned you're primary vocalist and drummer. That's not obviously, you're not the only one doing that, but there are actually quite few bands who manage to do it properly, especially when we're talking about high tempos and stuff. I mean, obviously there is a band like Absu who is doing great, but all that stuff. But Profanity also. But that's pretty much of it. I mean, you don't hear a lot of these guys speeding up at the same time, screaming their lungs out. So, what is your secret? How do you focus on the both?
I mean, kind of what we were saying. The band didn't start as something that was meant to be a live band. So it was something where I wanted to do a demo where I did vocals on it and played drums. But I didn't record the demo playing drums at the same time.
Yeah,
it's all been something that I've just had to learn as the band has progressed. And I mean, even with every album that we write, I am not practicing the songs with vocals. And then every time the album is recorded, I'm like, well, all right, I have to learn how to do this now. And so it's one of those things where the vocals are very much a secondary piece to, what drives a lot of this is drums. We want the drums at the front, and we want them fast and loud, and vocals, they have a place, but it's about drums and playing fast. So I've learned how to do it, but it's something I've talked to various people about how they set up, and it's been like a trial and error process, but it wasn't something intentional. I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, in that. But getting to you then, usually guitars are more on the front, and while the drums might be leading the band in a way, they're on the back. So are you also, technically speaking, the literal frontman when it comes to playing live, or how do you set it up?
That the guitars are just as important and up front as the drums.
Of course.
It is a two-pronged attack.
Yeah, I think it's the drums are definitely the focus of it. I think it makes it feel a lot more intense when that is the focus of it. But I feel like it's not like they're turned up more in the mix or something, or like there was like an idea to have him up front. I think it's just since there is just us 2, having us be like facing each other on the stage and all the way pushed up front, it feels a lot more like full that way. I don't know. It feels full that way in the sound, and also just like seeing it just doesn't feel like there's a guy wearing a riser back there. Like, what's he doing? Otherwise, he's like singing. He's like, there's not lights on him or something. Then there's like a random, just one guy up front. It kind of pushes us both up and like equals it out a little bit.
Okay, yeah, that
So
makes sense.
we set up kind of in a V, somewhat facing each other, so that it kind of like and the two-pronged attack, like I mean it in jest, but also seriously. Like it is just the two of us pointed in one direction.
So it goes back to the theory of shapes.
It's all about shapes, yeah.
I'll let you talk about shapes.
But yeah, I mean, it's just the way I mean, it's something I've always, you notice it when you see bands, is like how they set up, and I think that's really important. It's often overlooked, especially in underground metal, where how bands are on stage and what direction they're facing, and I think a lot of that, when you put more thought into it, you can create something that musically you can be menacing, but also physically you can be menacing. You can be menacing towards the crowd, and you can have a look where you are, I don't know, it's all about being intentional.
All right.
Like considering what you're doing, considering what way you're facing, how you're facing people, and we try to at least consider that when we're setting up, and it's something that we've kind of worked on, although we've been doing this V setup since our very first show, so we've never not played this way, and no matter what festival tells us we can't do it, we find a way to do it.
All right.
And then we get told no a lot, and we just say no, we are doing that,
Yeah.
and we will figure it out, and it hasn't not worked for us.
All right. Talking about the band name is obviously something that was supposed to be the first question. And I was telling you prior to the interview that, hey, this kind of reminds me of Bolt Thrower, kind of a geekish approach. Like this is the kind of a medieval weaponry, a siege machine. Yeah. And then you're wearing Bolt Thrower shirt. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is kind of a great, at the same time disappointing. But how did you come up with the name? I mean, it's not your typical name, like, when we were talking about the war metal genre, you're boxed in. You have 3 different words. It's not like revenge or conquer. You're like Antichrist Siege Machine. What the fuck is supposed to be? What kind of weaponry is that?
It's the most evil weaponry you could ever think of. Obviously, what's the giant ram from Lord of the Rings called? Is it Grond? It's kind of like that big flaming, just wicked-looking tower that just coming towards a gate.
Yep.
That was kind of like at least when we were naming the band, it was all, and our demo and a lot of our other art kind of rhymes with this theme, where it's like a triangular shaped siege machine. It's triangle and it's on wheels, and there's a ram in the center of it, and like a battering ram, and that's like our lyrics have to do with this machine, and like that is the Antichrist Siege Machine as we interpret it. To other people, it's an Abrams tank, but for us, it is that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
I'm talking about American weaponry.
Yeah.
All right. You also come from a place called Richmond, Virginia.
Yep.
Am I right?
Best city on earth.
Which is not exactly one of those big cities in a big stage. Talking about, California or New York State or whatever. Mm-hmm. What I'm asking here is, what kind of a landscape or scene it was for you guys to figure out, we want to play extreme metal? Was there other people, like being influenced by or, work with and so forth?
As far as being in the genre that we're in, it's slim pickings in the United States in general for that kind of music. It's the bands are kind of few and far between. As far as Richmond as a place for metal, there is a really strong metal scene in Richmond. I think for the first few years that we were a band, I don't think that we necessarily fit into what people in Richmond necessarily like. But there's always been support for us, and especially in Washington, D.C. and in New York, like we've always done well. I think Richmond itself has a really rich history with metal, just not necessarily the stuff that we do.
Yeah, I think that it's also important that it's like that, and that's why it ended up happening, is because there wasn't anything happening like that. So we were like, oh, well, obviously we want that to happen, so we're just going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, instead of going for other bands like, hey, you're going to play the stuff we want to do.
Yeah, we don't want to play doom metal or thrash, and Nothing against those bands, but we wanted to do a sound that we wanted to, and this is kind of why we didn't have a bass player to begin with, is because we have a vision for the band, and we didn't know anyone.
You were two weird kids for the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt like it.
I mean, it did streamline the process a lot. Just well, we know exactly what we want this to sound like, and like I think that was kind of the most important part. Is like me and Scott were like so in line with like we want it to sound like this. We want it to be influenced by this. Are we the only two people that are like in line with this? Yeah. Okay. So it's just gonna be us.
Yeah.
I'm also originally from Tampa, Florida, so like, the scene there is obviously like a death metal.
Yeah, that the death metal home in a way.
Yeah.
But even there, not like a lot of this kind of stuff. Like, a lot of like black metal, a lot of death metal, but like the only contemporary band like that in Florida is the Caveman Cult. And like I was like, oh, I really want to do a band like that, but like not like them, you know, like I wouldn't say that we really sound like them, but it's war metal is funny though because it's like we're the same genre, but we're not the same genre. We don't,
I don't know.
There's not necessarily a unique sound to it. It's you know it when you see it, but it is not defined by certain things.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. This is more like an opinion though, but still, war metal tends to be often kind of a glorified way to describe what is combination of death and black metal. What do you think of it?
I agree. I would also add, I mean, something I've kind of been saying for years is that what I love about war metal is that it's long form grindcore.
Yeah.
Where is pulling from, at least what he and I like, is a lot more on the grindcore side. We come from punk and grindcore, and we like going fast, but I think the bands that we like, you know, like Conquer and Revenge, those are, if you were to separate the visuals and the identity from those bands, like they would fit in like a grindcore scene.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I mean, the songs are 4 or 5 minutes long, so that, but you know, that's what we like, and it's just loud and fast.
I was just, prior to this interview, I was actually listening to your older material, just in comparison to the latest one, which I got to review when it came out. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, like, your music hasn't really changed much. And I think that can be a blessing or a curse. Yeah. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, like, you're very true and honest towards the path you've chosen to walk. Yeah. And I think it's great for the fans. But also, some might say it's a little bit repetitive in a way that, like, okay, these guys have like how I'm supposed to figure out which song is from which album and all that stuff. How do you see it to yourself, given that you have already quite a few releases out there with this high tempo, aggressive riffing, and technically speaking, very much like a default war metal?
So, I mean, the genre itself, I think people call that kind of repetitive in general anyway, but like in my mind, I've always really admired bands. I'm wearing their shirt right now. They're a good example. Bolt Thrower sounds like Bolt Thrower.
Exactly.
They always sound like Bolt Thrower. You go to any one of the records, it's going to sound like Bolt Thrower. And like,
that's true.
There's a few of their songs where like, oh, is this War Mask? No, this is World Eater. You know, like, there's a few of them you're going to be like, no, this is like a repeating theme or something. But like, and even like Dismember and like bands like that, you're just like, I know that's that band because I can hear it. It doesn't matter what first album or 12th album, you know it's them. But like,
it's not like Dog Throw, like, oh, what, this is all totally different.
Yeah.
But you kind of, I mean, I get it. As a big Bolt Thrower fan, I mean, whether we're talking about the latest album, the last one, you know, which is kind of a more melodic, I like with them, say, Realms of Chaos, or the debut, which is definitely more grindy, but you get that Bolt Thrower feeling, like.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So you want to keep your guns where they belong to.
Yeah, within reason. We want to evolve a little bit here and there. We don't want to like just drastically change it, because then that's like, what the fuck is this? But like we feel like we have a sound that is us at this point, and it's a combination of influences and backgrounds and style of playing, and I think it's kind of going in a general direction that we would like to keep it in, you know.
Yeah, it's worked so far. So
just theoretically asking, could you like imagine doing a, say, slow tempo song or more melodic approach, or adding some instrument that hasn't been part of you? Would that feel like too much over the board? That
wouldn't be ASM.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. I mean, we've worked for so long on this one path, and this one path is what this band knows. And if we want to explore other things, then you can start another band, and you can and we have other bands, but I'm the way I am with music is I like to have this band be one thing, and we do that one thing well. And if we want to explore, I don't know, different themes in death metal or something like that, then we can start other bands to do that. But I think when bands change their sound so much, I mean, sometimes it works for them, but for us, that's just not what we would do.
Evolving and getting better is good, but like Repulsion's a good example. They wrote one fucking record, and then it's they can just play it forever, and it's perfect.
It's perfect.
If it's not broken, then don't try to.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point.
Try to maybe throw a decal on or something, but don't completely change the entire thing.
Yeah. This band has worked for us so far, and we've been fortunate enough to play with a lot of bands that we really look up to, and I think that it's worked well for us so far. So we have no reason to change it. I mean, even if it wasn't working well, I don't think we would change it.
Yeah,
we're pretty happy where we are.
Yeah, I mean, we
like what we do.
Yeah. Okay, one thing which I kind of warned you about is obviously politics always come into play when we're talking about or dealing with certain genres, and war metal is often something that a lot of people go with okay, proceed with caution when we're talking about this. Obviously, war can be sketchy topics for about. I mean, it's dead bodies, and politics always are part of the war. Then there are, again, bands like Moldor, which are obviously very openly left-wing stuff. When we're talking about a lot of war metal bands, there's always hovering around this kind of a shadow. Okay, these guys are probably sketchy, these or this or that. Now, I'm going to ask you straight, and it's obviously up to you how you answer it, but what is your stand in this field of politics, which can be very rewarding or very annoying when it comes to metal?
I'm sorry.
I mean, my point is, do you have certain kind of a political take when it comes to being a war metal band?
This band has no political take. We're not playing metal to be political. We're playing to go fast and loud, and that's what this band is intended for. And I mean, other people can take their message within black metal and they can have their politics in whatever direction they want. It's just this band is not a vehicle for politics. It is not something that we are going to speak towards issues. I mean, there are many injustices in the world. There's many things that are going wrong in the world, but this band does not need to be pushed into any of that. And we can speak for issues on our own, and we can have our own thoughts and what we support and what we don't support. But I think as this band, it is meant to be a vehicle for us to play loud and fast.
Now, why I'm asking is this, because obviously your name kind of takes a stand towards religion.
Yeah.
And that's another topic I want to ask you.
Religion, we'll talk all day.
Okay.
Here we go.
And of course, coming from the United States, where everybody knows, okay, there is this thick, fat Bible Belt thing going on.
We're right in the middle of it.
And yes, that's what I was thinking of. And of course, your name pretty much says okay, Christianity, fuck off.
Yeah. It makes for a fun Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah. So what is your relationship with Christianity in particular?
Well, so I have probably a fairly unique upbringing with Christianity. I was raised in a pretty conservative household. I was actually homeschooled my whole life. I never went to a formal school. So that was kind of a different upbringing. So I grew up very ingrained in the church, and I was very involved in the church growing up, and that was a huge part of my life. And I think when I was younger, and even 10 years ago when this band started, I had kind of just this latent bitterness against Christianity and kind of a lot of the atrocities and harm that religion has done. And I mean, we can speak towards the wider Abrahamic religions, but my experience has been with Christianity, so that's what I speak to. And I think the band was kind of a vehicle for me to speak against that and the church. And I mean, a lot of the lyrics have to do with spiritual warfare and kind of real warfare too, but a lot of it is you're kind of speaking in the abstract about religion. But I think it definitely comes from a place against Christianity. Yeah.
How often are you confronted because of the name, because of the themes and whatsoever, given that where you're coming from?
I'm not confronted very often, but I also don't wear this band on my sleeve. You know, I don't let ASM like define me.
You don't go to the Walmart like
No, it doesn't define me as a person, so I'm rarely confronted. You know, it's not like ASM is playing shows to like Bible thumpers or whatever, you know, like we're kind of in our own world anyway.
Now, something that I want to ask you both, but let's start with you. He was already talking a lot.
Yeah.
Is your promotional picture shows you kind of a very kind of aggressive stance with the guns and all that stuff, which already tells like big fucking capital letters. We're American. We got guns. We got ARs and shit.
Well, Finland has guns. You guys have guns.
Yeah, but
you're like the European country that they allow to have guns.
Americans tend to tell us that we have quite liberal regulations, but it's very difficult. We don't have assault rifles unless you go to the army, of course. So what I'm talking about your promotional picture, because before we get back to that, is what made you like choose this is our style, as opposed to a lot of bands like corpse paint or a lot of spikes and nails and shit. But he went like, okay, we're going to war.
Yeah.
Click, click.
I'd say initial aesthetics rooted, honestly, just for me, it was swords and shit are kind of overdone. We should do that sometimes. We have done it in the past, but like that's not really our vibe. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger and Terminator 2 and Commando, and that's the vibe.
Great movies too.
Yeah, like leather jackets and guns, but also like that aesthetic is just kind of like in my brain like a default. Like I'm thinking of like Razor, like Shotgun Justice, and, like Sodom on top of a fucking tank or something. Like it's not like I don't even think it's like a statement of like we're like super tough or anything. It's just like you guys are holding maces, you guys are holding swords, we're gonna hold shotguns.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a modern version of those medieval cosplayers in a way.
Yeah. And like it's not a political thing. It's not a thing where we're trying to like tell other people we're tougher than them or something. It's just like other people, like Motorhead pose with bandoliers and revolvers. We'll do the we'll do the Commando, the jungle camo and fucking leather jackets and shit.
Yeah. So we will have a
Terminator 2.
So we will have a Predator being a guest vocalist at some point.
That You weren't supposed to tell anybody about that.
I will be killed right after this one. Talking of guns, do you are you like I don't know how to describe it. I was going to say active shooter, but that sounds so weird. Yeah, that's not what I'm.
We're a couple of shootive actors.
Yeah. So what I'm asking is like, do you have a hobby with guns or?
I more so when I was a kid, I kind of just got back into it, like shooting. We went like skeet shooting, like shotguns, recently. But like, it was honestly it was around me a lot when I was a kid. Not something I'm like scared of or hate or something, but it was also not something I was like I need guns all the time.
Yeah.
It was just it just is very normal to me just to have some scary parts of the United States, especially in Tampa. Right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, you just have a gun.
All
the time. So it didn't seem like weird, but also not like hobbyist hunter sort of person or anything. It just kind of just was like a fact of life that sometimes you have to have a sawed-off shotgun in your house,
Got a specific favorite gun?
I have like a pump action like 12 gauge. It's pretty cool. It's not anything fancy, but it's just fun to shoot. We went out skeet shooting with like the over-unders, and I brought that, and like the guy that was there was like, he's cheating. He's got the like big 12 gauge. You guys are shooting these little guys.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun. I also have like a pistol that's like my dad gave me, so it's like kind of sentimental, but
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you like guns?
I love guns.
So what is your favorite one?
I mean, historically, like I love the AK-47. I think it's a really cool gun, and that was why when we initially took the gun pictures, we were having AK-47s, and AK-47s are a choice weapon of rebellions around the world. There's a really cool history with that gun.
The most used assault rifle, I guess.
Yeah, they're really cool guns. They're like workhorse firearms. I grew up around guns, grew up around hunting, grew up around like competitive shooting. I would probably say the AK. I like the MP5 a lot because that was just like a cool, going back to his like movies, like the MP5 is just like a really cool bad guy gun. So yeah, probably those.
All right.
Yeah.
What should people learn before we like wrap things up and all? And now we have gotten a little bit of basics here at least. Now I hope people are like figuring out, okay, these guys know the war, they know the religion and all that stuff, and they play fast and they're all that stuff. But what are like the key points that people should know about Antichrist Siege Machine when they're like ready to tackle, like at least there a certain song or certain release they should start with when they're getting into the band?
I think you could probably pick any point, and you would, if you don't like us within the first 5 minutes, you probably won't like us after 15 minutes.
Probably sounds like a pretty good idea.
It's we're a one-trick pony, but it is a good trick.
So it's a fun trick, yeah.
It's a fun trick, yeah.
I think a testament to that fact is our the first song we ever wrote is on our current set list. We have like not ever stopped playing that song.
Yeah,
it still fits in the set. So like, you listen to the first song, you listen to our last song, it's gonna sound like reminiscent. If you don't like it, if you don't like it, fuck off. But
we've unfortunately run out of songs, but on our demo, I think it was 4 or 5 songs.
I think
our demo. Our demo is
17 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, but so on our demo, since then we have re-recorded every song from the demo on every release. So we just
for a new release.
Yeah, so with every new release we've re-recorded a demo song, and I personally don't feel like they felt out of place on any of the records. So I think that there's something to be said, at least with our catalog, that what we wrote in 2016 and 2015 still resonates with the band, and we're still happy to play them, and we're playing a couple songs from the demo tonight. So yeah, I mean, you could start at our most recent record, or you could start at the demo. I
must say, I obviously know the answer because, like I said, I was listening to the whole Discord apart from the new one, which I didn't actually then have time. But I was thinking, like, you really haven't changed the pattern. Like, no. I mean, it's a good thing for people who understand this kind of music and like it. But just asking like more about your own opinion. Okay, before we wrap things up, I'm gonna ask you a couple of short questions, like quick ones, like don't overthink it. Favorite band on the earth?
Depeche Mode.
That's a surprising one. Favorite movie of all times?
Oh, the Matrix.
The album you would take to your grave?
Horrified.
Why?
Because you can listen to it over and over again.
All right. And what would be your favorite next place to play a show if you could choose any place on earth? Moon doesn't count, but
literally anywhere in Spain. We haven't played there yet.
All right. Fair enough. And you, sure, I'm not going to ask you exactly the same, but something in the same place. You get to choose one shooting range, whatever, in the world. What would be that place, and would you take your AK-47?
Shooting. You knew. A place to go shoot. Man, I don't know. I've never shot in the Pacific Northwest, but all the videos I see of people out there shooting in the mountains and stuff looks really cool. So I would like to do that. Or, especially driving around here, like the Finnish, like kind of hills, mountainside would be cool to go shoot a gun.
Album or band that inspired you the most?
Conquer, War Cult Supremacy, 100%.
Which band made you to become a metalhead?
Slayer.
Which album?
Okay, so I said this the other day. I started with later Slayer. So probably, I mean, I started at South of Heaven.
Yeah.
and then went back. But I would probably say South of Heaven. Like I like that kind of mid-tempo evil. I love the fast stuff, but you know, like what sucked me in as a young person was
and you can beat nostalgia.
Yeah.
How much you like yourself.
yeah.
I get it. I get it. Okay, and the place you love to visit the most so far, with the band or by yourself?
That we visited. That's tough. I mean, I really liked Prague. I think Prague was a really cool city. Honestly, this trip to Finland has been amazing. We've been looking forward to it. We've wanted to come to Finland for a long time. I've only heard good things, and Finland's been great so far.
Now, after the short questions, what is the next step after these shows you're going to play in Finland? Where are you going and what are you going to do? Obviously play more shows, but...
I can't recount the entire schedule.
How many shows roughly?
I think 10 shows. 10 shows in total. We fly to Prague on Friday and we play Obscene Extreme on Friday night. And then we have a couple shows in Germany. And then we go to Poland, Slovakia, and then we end at Chaos Descends, actually playing with Repulsion.
Wow.
Yeah, next week. So I'm very excited for that. We've played shows and then gone and seen Repulsion, but we've never actually played with them. So that'll be exciting. I love them.
So what is the next step for next recording with Antichrist Siege Machine?
Still writing right now, so and not trying to really rush it. I feel like we've been on like the same schedule. Like we'll get like an update like this time last year on our phone or something. It's like us in the studio while we're in the studio the next year, and like I just don't want to like make it too pushed that we have to keep on grinding the shit out because I don't want it to be too samey.
Yeah.
Not have enough thought, but I want it to be concise and in the same realm, but not just like they rushed through this. Like you can tell they rushed through this. So
we don't push
writing, trying to play lots of shows, and then if it starts coming naturally, then we usually just like punch out a record in like a couple months.
All right.
Like it'll just start like coming like rapid fire.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to be like, oh, we gotta go write songs. It's like we want it to be like it's time to write songs.
No, when the time is right and the motivation and all that, it's coming out automatically.
Yeah.
All right. Any final shout-outs you want to give to people helping, inspiring you, or fuck off to your enemies?
Fuck off to all my enemies. That's it.
What about you, sir?
I have no one to shout out. Honestly, we're fine.
Americans, the home of the shout-out people don't have anything to shout out. So you people know that you've done something wrong. So anyway, at least get to see these guys when they play a show near you, and don't be the homie who never like, oh, I should have seen them and I didn't go. Don't be that guy. Go to see them, witness them live, tune up with their albums, and get yourself in your war metal zone. And I hope you enjoy it. Links are provided in the description box for the band's music and the basic information, so click and I hope you like them. This is Rauta, this is Antichrist Siege Machine, off you go, bye bye.